This song, when it came out, had to be very mid at best.
Oh, yeah.
He must have been mid at best.
20 years ago, this would always play at the bar, but 12.
How much this offseason in college football have you guys talked about Houston, Wake Forest, Tulsa, FIU, Arkansas, Michigan State?
None.
Houston hired Willie Fritz. Great hire. About it.
So all 4-8. They do not have Deion Sanders as their head coach,
Lucky
who
them.
also went 4-8. We have, for the first time ever in college football, we'd not been able to quit a 4-8 team. And something that appeared to be dying down, The Athletic wrote an extensive piece on the players that have left Colorado. Then Shedeur Sanders jumped into the fray and ignited it and set off a firestorm yesterday, which, I don't know, is there at this point, there's nothing like new to learn about Colorado.
No.
Like everything we know about developing, putting a roster together, processing a roster, what it's like internally, not getting to know players' names, just worrying about the starters, not about the depth, and really only worrying about your kids and make sure that it's a reality show. There's nothing left out there that will come out about Colorado, right?
I would not think so. No.
So this Athletic piece is pretty extensive, and it talks about players that have left and their feelings on how they were treated and that they've moved on. But this was basically in the 24-hour news cycle that was going to just go by the wayside because it's another Colorado story. And at this point, I'm like worn out. You know what? If you were not 4-8, people wouldn't be writing these stories before year number 2, or people that gave you a pass last year have teed it up.
Yeah.
But, son is protecting dad, and he went with that. Isn't he the captain? Isn't he the leader?
Yep.
Okay. I got to understand you want to stand up. People have taken shots at your dad. But I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. To crush another teammate who then, where he is at, and Nebraska will see Xavier Smith coming up at the end of August because he's at UTEP. His head coach going, man, this guy's been great. No problems. Great to know him. I mean, we can't quit Deion, can we?
No. And the question that you posed before we went to the break, what is the thing you're tired of hearing about the most? The two essentially with the Deion news cycle go hand in hand. And for me, it's the Colorado storyline and it's the transfer portal. But a lot of the news and the drama that we continue to get with the Colorado storyline has a lot to do with the transfer portal, from what they're losing, from what they're trying to get, but then the commentary back and forth. And you're right. People, if you woke up out of a coma for over a year, you would think, man, Colorado preseason top 10, is that the trajectory of this team? Because the amount of give-a-blanks about the everyday occurrences with this football program is insane. And they know it. They know that.
Yeah, they don't care either. That's
right. That's the truth of it.
That's also the thing that probably riles some people up is maybe I say they don't care. I mean, they care. I mean, you've seen pushback, but they're okay playing the villain role.
Yeah. And I think Shedeur Sanders, that's who he is when it comes to what he would perceive as standing up for his dad. Is there decorum when it comes to what you say for a former teammate or anybody else that could potentially leave the team within a year or two, that if you come at Deion, you're going to have the support of his sons?
I don't know. I got to look at Sam Hoiberg's Twitter account, see if he went after Jamarcus Lawrence.
I don't believe Sam did.
We just can't quit Deion here.
No.
If you're not 4-8, if you had a winning record in your first year, people wouldn't be talking about this. You can go about your own way of developing a roster.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't. September 7th, I have no idea what you're going to get. I think they'll start quick out of the gate again, but they'll have no depth. I don't know how they develop chemistry.
Right.
And what this looks like when it's all said and done, and the Sanders are no longer in Boulder. I think, we have a local Buff fan. He's a diehard Josh. We have so many bets for this upcoming year. I've forgotten them. At some point, you do have to be tired and just like, man, can we just
Just get the
focus on
football.
football.
Yeah, just get the football part of it.
Just play football.
Yep.
Okay. But all of this buildup, and this won't go away. This is going to continue.
Well, because you keep getting sound bites too. You keep getting quotes. You keep getting things.
It will lead to the most energetic, loud, angry crowd on September 7th that I think will eclipse any previous Colorado-Nebraska game.
Night game.
And remember what we did in the 90s when Colorado rolled into Lincoln.
Yep.
That's what this is all leading to.
Come on.
And it also leads to, I told you this a month ago, there's only one game on the slate that you're going to win.
Yeah.
At week number 2, that might be the one that you would have to select.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think night game.
Oh,
I know people
I
want a night game.
I think it's going to be 2:30.
I think CBS at 2:30.
Yeah.
I can do that. That's okay.
2:30
is okay.
I remember talking to Rob Zadiska about the 94 game when game day was here, and
was good.
There was a palpable hatred because Colorado was kind of the darling of college football at that point too. It wasn't just
they just had the Hail Mary a month before.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did against Michigan.
Well, they also showed up wearing the T-shirts.
Yeah,
that said the real black shirts.
Right.
Wear black.
And Rob Zadiska manufactured a false story that they were
legendary
talking trash about the pipeline. Found out later that they didn't say what Rob told his teammates, which was fantastic. But there was, I think with the team itself, there was a palpable hatred. I think to an extent, I think that extended to the crowd. I think that was more.
92, by the way, 94 was energetic. 92 was off the charts angry.
The absolute
beatdown.
After
the tie in Boulder.
This, I would agree with you though, Gary. I think this one, I mean, remember, social media didn't exist back then. So you didn't have to live in that constant cycle of this. And Mac was a polarizing head coach, but nothing to the level of what you're seeing with Deion Sanders.
You mean Promise Keeper guy who a couple years before knew he got 5 downs and won a national championship?
That's right.
That's the guy we're talking about, right?
That's the guy we're talking about.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thought you were going somewhere else with that, but you're pacing yourself.
Polarizing, see? But everything that we've seen in the new world of college football that has geared around that story in Boulder, but also creating some of the false narratives. Speaking of Shedeur Sanders, what he had to say about Matt Rule after the game, when we talked about false truths or half truths that coaches will try to rile up their team. Colorado clearly doing that. The players feeding into that. The players giving that back to the media. I don't want to say that this has been such a disrespectful angle that they've taken in Nebraska. This is just the way they've gone about going into each game. But it resonates when you do have a little history with this program as well. And then given what happened a year ago, it's building to something big. I don't think there's any question that this thing, the comparison is made. Let's have that venue. And of course, this was a night game. We're all hoping it would be a night game of the 2014 Miami game. And again, there's history with that Miami program as well. This thing, I think, will be incredibly hostile. Hostile that I've maybe never seen Memorial Stadium in the last 20 years that I've been following and been watching Nebraska games.
I think there'll be a legit 85, 87,000 people.
Very angry.
I think it'll be like legit people will use their tickets for this game.
There won't be empty seats for that one.
All right. That is, what is that? 127 days away? If I'm trying to do the math off the top of my head.
122 yesterday.
I think 120. I think that's going to come back to bite Deion with the way that he goes about building his roster. When they allowed players unlimited transfers, that really hurt Colorado because they could get the one and they'd have to stick around.
Yep.
But now that they can get unlimited, that hurts Colorado more than anybody else.
Works both ways.
All right, 8:07. Evan Bland will join us. Brandon Vogel still to come. It's Mornings with Sharp and Hanley on 1620 The Zone.